Hi, I'm Dan Leonard, the Home Studio Master, and welcome to our series on Home Voiceover Studio Basics. In this first video, we'll talk about finding the best place in your home to record. Selecting the proper room or space to record in is perhaps the most significant decision you'll have to make in regards to your home voiceover studio. Now, what factors go into that process?
First, let's look at the myth versus the reality. And the thing I don't want you to get is studio envy. Now, this wonderfully furnished recording studio is not what you're supposed to be thinking about when putting together a voiceover recording space in your home. These places and all this great expensive equipment are designed and built to record and produce music. So unless you're producing Linkin Park's next album, what you need is a simple space. Don't overthink it.
So, if you're not taking a sledgehammer to your living room wall and building a whole new wing to your house to build your dream recording palace, how do you pick the right place in your home to record? What makes a good place to record in your home? Okay, first, let's talk about locations you shouldn't use. For example, the bathroom, with its tile walls and hard surfaces and shower doors, it's like an echo machine. Plus, think of the impact on the other occupants.
Dad, when are you gonna finish recording?
Now that also goes for your kitchen. Can you hear that room reflection? Plus it gets kind of busy in here. Ooh, that smells good. Okay, that narrows it down. So what do you need in a room? Obviously quiet. It has to be a room far from or isolated from the noises in the house and coming from outside. The optimum places need soft surfaces, like curtains and things like that, to dampen the sounds you make while you're recording, and keeping those sound waves from bouncing all over the room and back to your microphone. You know, a small bedroom is a great place to start. Lots of pillows to use and blankets and stuff. And a very nice carpeted surface, and lots of other soft objects. An unused spare room is ideal because you can do all the necessary treatments like acoustical foam or heavy curtains or blankets. Of course, where's your mother-in-law going to sleep when she comes for a visit? However, if it's truly an unused room, it's truly ideal. No, I'm not coming out of the closet. Well, actually I am. In fact, I'm going back in because the room that will require the least amount of alteration will be a big walk-in closet like this one, loaded with all those clothes you never wear. They dampen sound like nothing else. Setting up a microphone 5 inches from all those old jeans and down vests and that tuxedo you bought to save on rentals makes for a very quiet, dead room. But even more importantly, depending on where that closet is located, it'll isolate you from all the noise from in and out of the house. In a perfect world, maybe you have a basement, preferably a finished one, and one with an isolated room. Basements are great because they really isolate you from the outside. A closet in the basement is the best of both worlds.
Ideally, a basement office, like mine, is great. You're almost totally isolated. And like that spare room concept we talked about earlier, you can pretty much do what you want without interfering with your cohabitors. One drawback of a basement is that's usually where your heating and air conditioning mechanicals are. They'll make noise that's unacceptable, even if you are well isolated. However, there is a simple answer to that. However, you better remember to turn it back on.
Why is it so cold in here?
And if you forget to do it, here's a great answer when asked about it. Hey, not only am I saving us money, I'm making money at the same time. Don't forget to turn it back on. One of the things you might want to avoid doing is building or buying a soundproof booth. Yeah, they look really cool like this beautiful one. But let me ask you, how good are you with building materials and stuff? And how elaborate do you want to be in your construction plans? To me, it's not worth the expense. Unless, of course, you live next door to a major international airport. So, do they work? To a point. But they add some other challenges that we'll talk about in a future video. In reality, it's better to have an open but dead space to record in.
It actually allows for a more realistic sound to your voice.
Okay, let's review.
Here's what you need to remember. First off, find a room with non-sound reflecting surfaces such as tile, plaster, drywall, or mirrors. That means don't use the bathroom, your kitchen, or any rooms that have hard tile walls or anything like that. Next, we talked about good places to consider, like, for instance, a bedroom. A great place is a closet, or a spare room, or you can custom build something in an unfinished basement. And lastly, you want to isolate yourself, but you don't want to create a sound vault.
That's all for now. In our next installment of Home Voiceover Studio Basics, we'll talk about microphones, which type to use, and how to use them properly. So, till next time, I'm Dan Leonard, the Home Studio Master, and you can reach me at homestudiomaster@verizon.net. And remember, the best way to make yourself better at doing voiceover is to practice your craft. We'll see you next time.